Hey, how are you? I'm going to give it a second to let everybody start to roll in from all over the world. It's Mel, and I am in a car heading to the airport, and we are about to, I'm about to fly. I'm saying we, it's just me sitting here. But I'm about to hop a flight and fly from San Francisco home to Boston. And I've spent the weekend in Napa Valley with Brendan Brouchard and a couple members from my team filming the High Five Challenge. And I'm so excited to tell you about it. But first, I want to welcome everybody in. Hi. Why don't you tell me where you're watching from so I can acknowledge you? And we are going to, India. Hi, how are you? I absolutely love seeing where everybody's watching from around the world. I love you too. Thank you for saying that, Tammy. Hello from Dubai. Hello. Hi. Where are you guys watching from? Make sure you put it in the comments. Again, if you're just joining us, hello, New York City. I hope is there Arizona, Seattle, fabulous. Ohio, absolutely love it. Welcome in. Puerto Rico. Hi, everyone. It's Mel. We're on our way to the San Francisco airport. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to answer your questions. Could be absolutely anything. Hello, Bosnia. Hello, New Zealand. Hello, India. Hello, Texas. I'm going to take some time and answer your questions as we head to the airport. So why don't you put any question that you might have about absolutely anything. You can ask me absolutely anything. And I'm going to do my best to answer a few of them. Oh, hi, Oak. Hey, buddy. I see my son is watching. Hey, dude. In Vermont. So you can ask me any question you want, and we're going to take some time and answer them. I just finished filming the High Five Challenge, which is a 5-day free challenge. I filmed it with Brendan Brouchard. It's incredible. This 5-day challenge gives you the tools, the coaching, and the community that you need to break through self-doubt and to take control of your life. And don't we all need to take control of our life right now? It's very overwhelming. I know you're exhausted, and so I'm going to be here all of the rest of this year and beyond to support you in taking control of your life. How many chapters are in my new book? Okay, interesting. Here's the new book. Let me see how many chapters. Oh, you know what's super cool? Look at this. Inside the new book. Look at this. Collage of everybody starting to practice the tools in this book. How cool is that? So the question is, how many chapters are in the new book? I don't even know. There's 15 chapters, and then there's a bonus chapter, so there's 16. And then at the end of the book, there's even more bonuses. I give you a bunch of free templates for journaling. And this whole book is about flipping yourself out of a super negative state into a positive high five attitude state. It's about leveraging science to develop the habit of empowering and encouraging yourself. Okay, how did you manage when you and your partner are in different places, even when it comes to personal growth? I'm going to answer that one next. But the book is incredible, and here's the thing. It's coming out in 22 languages at the end of September. I want you to get your hands on this puppy. And so I have 3 gifts to give you when you pre-order a copy of the High Five Habit. Any language, anywhere in the world. It could be an ebook. It could be an audiobook. The audiobook experience is unbelievable. It's the most amazing, inspiring, coolest thing I've ever done. It's a pep talk meets emotional stories. I barely got through the damn thing. Or the hardcover. You buy that, go to highfivehabit.com, register your receipt, and let me verify it. And then within 24 hours, you're going to get in your inbox 3 incredible bonus gifts from me to you. You're automatically registered in the High Five Challenge. You are automatically get a ticket to my masterclass on the High Five Habit in October. And you can automatically download a video where I walk you through my morning routine at my house, and I explain step by step how I set my day up to win. But that's the answer to that question. Yeah, it's on Audible. How do I stay positive when you live with and work with negative people that you become abusive if you stand up for yourself? Okay. Number one, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. You should not put up with toxic behavior. If you are in a job, this is another thing about a high five, by the way. If you're in a job or a relationship that you wouldn't high five, that says something. If you think about the people that you surround yourself, the person you're in a relationship with, the job that you walk into every day, if you wouldn't high five that thing, because think about what a high five is. A high five is a gesture that you do when you believe in something, when you encourage it, when you celebrate it, when you want to empower it. And so if you're not in a place at work or in a relationship or in friendships or even where you live that you would high five it, you need to get the fuck out. Seriously. You got two choices when you're in a shitty situation. You either work on changing yourself, because that's the only way you change the dynamic. And when you change yourself, when you show up differently, the fact that you're different creates a different dynamic. That's one way to change it. The other way to change it is to remove yourself from the situation. So if you're not willing to do the work to change how you're showing up, whether it's at work or in a relationship or in your family, then you got no choice but to either distance yourself or quit or create boundaries so that you're not impacted by the toxic behavior. And, here's the other thing I want to say. If you're in a job or in a family or in a relationship that you don't want to high five, you don't have to necessarily end it right now. You could create a runway. So within 3 weeks or 3 months from now, you can take off from that thing. By the way, chapter, let me see. Actually, I missed something. Oh, chapter 8. Chapter 8 is all about this. All about this. Do you have dreams you want to accomplish in your life? Fuck yes. Absolutely. Dreams are like the life force inside of you. And here's the interesting thing about dreams. I write a lot about this in the High Five Habit. I believe that when you're born, your dreams are woven into your DNA. And that throughout your entire life, you can feel the pull of things that are meant for you. And when you have a high five attitude, you allow yourself to lean toward those things that you desire, that you want. I'm talking about things that align with your values. That you allow yourself to explore things that you're curious about, that you look at jealousy and you're able to flip it into a feeling of being inspired to do something similar to the folks that you feel sort of jealous of. The problem is, for most of us, we get trapped in these very low, negative mental and emotional states where we feel jealous or insecure or people-pleasing or fear or anxiety. And so you get trapped thinking and feeling bad and thinking about your excuses. I'm here to tell you, you have the ability to flip yourself from a low mental and emotional state into an optimistic, positive, inspired action state. And that's where things are going to change. Your dreams are really important because your dreams are like a directional signal. They act like a beacon. Like if I'm here, my dreams are out here. And they are designed, and their purpose in my life, in your life, is to pull you through the fear, and to pull you through the anxiety, to pull you through the insecurity towards something bigger. They allow you to raise your gaze. Right now, what you're looking at is probably pretty small. I want you to consider that when you raise your gaze beyond where you are right now, when you flip yourself from a state of feeling insecure and anxious and afraid and paralyzed into a state of being optimistic, into a state of encouraging and empowering yourself and giving yourself permission to have the things that you desire, your life changes. Honestly, that's what this whole book is about. It's about developing habits of empowerment, support, celebration, and encouragement for yourself. Somebody's asked me, do I believe that that medication is helpful for anxiety? Hell fucking yes. If you are in a hole that you cannot get out of, go see a professional, because if you can get on the right meds, they can be life-saving. They can be a ladder out of a hole that you cannot get yourself out of. I think medication is incredible. In fact, I took Zoloft for more than 2 decades, and it was a game changer for me. I don't take it anymore because I've used the 5-second rule to cure my generalized anxiety. It is possible to do that. Do I get situational anxiety? Absolutely, because anxiety is an alarm system in your body. It serves a purpose, and when you understand it, you can calm it down. But I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 45, and I take Adderall occasionally, and it's a game changer because it's like fuel for my brain. So when it comes to anxiety, if you're a woman, first of all, yes, and also please make sure you check out whether or not ADD is an issue, because what we're finding, and I'm in the middle of launching a big project with Dr. Daniel Amen about women, anxiety, and ADHD, and ways to not diagnose, but to take tests online to figure out what might be going on. Too many women have undiagnosed ADHD, and when you can't direct your attention and your focus, what happens if you don't address ADD is you start to develop anxiety. The anxiety takes over. It becomes bigger, and so you treat the anxiety, but you might still have something underlying like ADD that's the actual core issue, okay? Let's see. I know I love Dr. Amen too. How do you dream big when you don't know what that looks like? Because, hold on, you lived smaller for so long. So what you're basically asking, first of all, I don't want to hammer this book, but you got to get this book, The High Five Habit. And when you pre-order this book, everybody, please, if I've ever done anything that's been of value to you, if you feel like you want to take control of certain areas of your life, grab a copy of The High Five Habit. This thing is the best piece of work I've ever put out. I cannot wait for you to read this. It comes out at the end of September, and the best way to have it in your hands when it does is to pre-order a copy. And plus, I'm going to give you 3 gifts that are going to help you immediately. Go to highfivehabit.com and just register your receipt, any language, any format. And within 24 hours in your inbox, you will get a link to download a 20-minute video where I walk you through my morning routine, so you get something immediately. You get a free ticket to my 3-hour masterclass in October about the science of motivation, encouragement, and support, about how to learn how to support yourself and put yourself first, how to take control of your life, and you're automatically registered in the High Five Challenge, this big global challenge that we're going to do. Super cool stuff. But how do you dream big? I'm going to tell you. Here we go. Chapter. Let me look at chapter. Chapter 9. Why is life so easy for them and not for me? Part of why you can't dream big is your thinking's blocked. We need to get you into a high five attitude where you will give yourself permission to have what you want. The things that are blocking you from dreaming with the lid off, from raising your gaze, is guilt. You either start to feel guilty for wanting more than what you have. Another reason why it's hard to dream big is you feel insecure. But the real reason why it's hard to dream big is lack of self-worth. That deep down, you believe you are not worthy of those things. And that's usually due to trauma from your past, or some abuse that's happened, or regrets that you have. You stand in this present moment and you look yourself in the mirror and you see a person who's not worthy of those things. You see a person who has not accomplished what you had wished you had accomplished by now. And so what I'm here to tell you is that until you learn how to stand in this present moment, look yourself in the mirror and see a person that's worthy of support, celebration, empowerment, and love, you will not be able to dream big. And that's what the High Five Habit's all about. It's about being able to look yourself in the mirror, and no matter what's happened in your life, no matter what you're facing right now, no matter what's going on, you can create a ritual where you celebrate, support, and empower yourself. And honestly, here's the deal. If you can get out of bed right now and you can walk into a bathroom and stand and look at yourself in the mirror, and you can see a person that has survived a whole lot of shit, and here you are, still standing, still waking up, still trying to do a little bit better, still pushing yourself forward, you deserve a high five. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be supported and empowered just as you are, because of what you've survived, because of what you've learned, and because you keep showing up every single day and trying to do a little bit better. I'm going to give you a high five right now, actually. There you go. And I'm going to hold my hand there so you can take a selfie with me, although you're watching me on your phone. It's a high five from Mel Robbins. It feels good to get a high five. I mean, think about what a high five represents. I want you to write in the comments, when you've received a high five in your life, what does it communicate? Go ahead, write it in the comments. What does a high five communicate? Okay? We're going to read what some of the people are saying here from Jamaica, from Dubai. What's a high five communicate, everybody? That you're a survivor, yeah. High five. When you give a high five, I'll tell you what, it communicates, I believe in you. It communicates, I love you. It communicates, I celebrate you. It communicates, you got this. It communicates, you're winning. Here's another thing. Good job, exactly. High five, exactly. Here's the other thing it communicates. If you have a teammate that's going down, maybe they blew a shot, right? What you do when you high five somebody is you're like, shake it off. Get your ass back in there. Come on. You got this. And so what I want you to realize is that you've been high fiving everybody else your entire life. You've been planning their birthday parties, helping them out at work, celebrating them. And all of that high five energy for other people is programmed right here in your subconscious. You've probably done a high five 10,000 times. You don't even realize it. When you raise your hand and go high five and say, you're important, I celebrate you, I'm proud of you, I'm giving you my energy and my excitement, you got this. When you raise your hand and do that for other people, it programs that messaging here. So check this out. This is the cool science behind this. When you stand in front of a mirror, even at the shittiest moment of your life, and you raise your hand, Wendy Dara, I love you too. When you raise your hand and go high five to your own reflection, you take all that subconscious programming that's right here and you marry it with your own reflection. It's bananas. And that's just the beginning of the science in this book. And I realize that not all cultures have this high five mentality, but you know what all cultures have? We have the raised hand as celebration. So think about what you do when you cross a finish line. It's like, ah! What do you do when your favorite sports team takes the thing? Ah! What do you do when you see a family member get off the airplane and come into baggage claim? Ah! What do you do when you see somebody that you love? Back pats, high fives, raisings of the hands. I talked to Dr. Daniel Amen, the world's leading expert on the brain. He got so excited about the high five habit because he explained to me some of the things that are going on in your brain and body when you raise your hand in celebration to your own reflection, when you give yourself the encouragement. So raised hands, that excitement, that celebratory energy is encoded into your nervous system. So even on a shitty day when you feel like crap, when you raise your hand and you celebrate yourself for where you are right now, just for being there, standing there in your underwear in front of your bathroom sink, your nervous system fires up the energy of celebration. Some mornings you'll feel a big jolt. Some mornings you'll just feel a little bit lighter. The other thing that happens when you raise your hand like that is you get a dopamine drip. And the dopamine drip in your brain boosts your mood. That's why even though it feels weird, even though you're going to resist doing it, when you start making it a habit after or before you brush your teeth, I want you to stack them together so you don't forget to stand with yourself in the mirror, to see yourself, to be with yourself, and then to think about the day ahead and decide who you're going to be today, how you're going to show up, and what's the game you're going to play today. And then you seal it with this high five. When you start doing this over and over and over again, something amazing is going to happen. You are going to start to feel like you have the support you need. You're going to start to realize that no matter what's going on in your life, you have your own back. You can count on you. You're building a partnership with yourself. Thank you so much for pre-ordering the book, everybody, The High Five Habit. Please do me a favor. Go to highfivehabit.com because I have 3 bonuses for you when you pre-order the book. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care what language. This book is getting published in 22 languages on September 28th and counting. Whether you order the audiobook, the ebook, the hardcover, you get 3 bonus gifts from me and they come right to your inbox. So just go to highfivehabit.com. habit, okay? .com in order to get those. Thank you for your support. Let's take one more question. Any other thing that you're struggling with right now that you want advice? And look, if you can't afford to buy the book, don't you worry. I got you covered. The High 5 Challenge is going to be free for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you buy the book or not, okay? Second thing is I'm going to be putting out so much content about this. So if you cannot afford to get the book, you're going to want the book. But if you can't afford to get it for whatever reason, please just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just keep following me here and you will bump into the content, okay? How did I develop my pricing structure for gigs and speaking engagements? For me, here's a little trick. If somebody asks you to speak and you don't know what to charge, just ask, what's your budget? And when they tell you the number, say, normally I'm double. That's how you'll figure it out. The speaking business, when you start doing it professionally, is its own ecosystem. And so if you're doing speaking engagements as sort of a one-off here and there, and you don't know what to charge, ask, what's your budget? You'll probably speak for free for quite a while until you develop a reputation and the skills and a speaking reel that is an example of what you can do on stage. But if you just want to try it, just be like, what's your budget? And then say, normally I'm double, and see what happens. And then if you want to get into it professionally, that's a whole different realm. I have somebody that manages my speaking business, that manages relationships with what's called speaking bureaus, which are the agencies that book speakers for massive corporate events. And that's the other thing. I speak on the corporate circuit: Starbucks, JP Morgan, Microsoft, Genzyme, Pfizer, Frito-Lay, Kellogg, like the list goes on and on and on, Remax, Compass. So I speak about change and motivation and inspiration and habits and leadership and fulfillment on those stages. Do I have a podcast? Not yet. I have tons of audiobooks on Audible, and this puppy is going to be the best one ever. It is a roller coaster, and the 8 hours that I spend reading this book, it's going to be the most bone-chilling, empowering, inspiring audiobook you ever listen to. One more question. Anybody else? Quick question. What made you decide to stop drinking? So I have not decided to stop drinking. I have had periods of my life where I have not drank. And I have had periods of life where I have drank way too much. Drinking is my go-to coping mechanism when I'm stressed out. That's when my life is out of control. But I have gotten control of my drinking, and I have done that by maintaining periods of my life where I don't drink. And the thing about drinking is that it is a habit. And there are a lot of triggers, like time of day or other people drinking, that will trigger you to drink. And then once you have one drink, of course, the chemicals in alcohol lower your inhibition and make you want more. And so there's a couple things that I do if I am going to be having a drink. Number one, I always have either a full glass of water or a big can of seltzer in between each drink. That's number one. Number two, if I don't want to drink a lot, I drink beer because it makes me feel more bloated and I don't drink as much. I've stopped pretty much drinking wine because it gives me massive headaches and there's way too much sugar and my face turns bright red and I look ridiculous. I don't drink bourbon anymore because I turn into a real bitch and I'd like to stay married. And I kind of stick to the gin and the tequila because that's the alcohol that I can drink and not be an asshole and kind of enjoy myself. But personally, I personally like weed better. I'd rather have a gummy or a THC drink than drink alcohol. I think it's way better than alcohol. I like the buzz. I don't get out of control. Here's the other thing I need you to understand. If you're on Zoloft, you better check your medication, guys. I did not know this until our daughter started taking Zoloft. Do you realize that one of the most common side effects that people don't know about with Zoloft is that if you drink while you are on Zoloft, blackout. Blackout is a known phenomenon. Like, this is why I don't remember a large part of my 20s and 30s, because I was on Zoloft and I was constantly drinking. Honest to God, I need you to know that. So I am in a period of my life right now where I am not drinking. because I have joined up to do 75 hard with my daughter, my husband, and a bunch of our friends. I am on day 4. I'm super pissed off about it that I agreed to do this. I'm super confronted. It's super challenging. And moving through these emotional states of being pissed off and annoyed and knowing how to ride the emotional wave and stick with it, that is discipline. We talk a lot about simple discipline in the High Five Habit, by the way. The ability to empower, encourage, support, and celebrate yourself through the ups and downs, through the anger, through the sadness, through all of it. Let's see, what else? What else? Correct, I've always researched about medications, anything else. So I'm not going to drink for the next 71 days. And you know what else I didn't realize is that I committed to this, and I didn't think through the fact that I am going to have a book launch. I'm going to celebrate a birthday. I'm going to go to Vegas to celebrate my brother's 50th birthday. All stuff that I normally would celebrate with alcohol. But it's an interesting thing to know that you can make a promise and keep it. It's like one of the most powerful things in the world. Okay, final question. How do you deal with an emotionally detached parent? This is incredible advice. And this is advice that I first saw T.D. Jakes give to Oprah. Your parents can only give you what they have to give. If you struggle with your relationship with one of your parents, understand that your parents can only give you what they have to give. I happen to be the kind of person that needs 10 gallons of love and attention and emotional support. If you have a parent that only has a 1 cup capacity for emotional support, attunement, and attention because they never got it themselves, or they experienced trauma, or they had a mental illness or an addiction, or they didn't know how to express themselves because nobody ever showed them. Your parent may give you the entire cup that they have to give, but because you happen to need 10 gallons of emotional support and affirmation, it's never going to feel like enough. And so for me, part of what has been helpful is recognizing that your parents can only give you what they have to give. And if it feels like there's something that's lacking, don't make yourself wrong for needing more. Learn how to fill that cup for yourself. I find that coming with empathy for where people are at doesn't excuse abuse, doesn't excuse neglect, doesn't excuse abandonment, but empathy for understanding that most human beings are not born abusive or addicted or neglectful. Most human beings are either abused or traumatized or trained to do those things. They're responding to trauma. And so most people are just coping. That doesn't mean what happened to you is right. It doesn't mean you deserved it. But you do have a responsibility to heal yourself. You do have a responsibility to figure out what happens next, what happens now from this point forward. And it has helped me a tremendous amount to bring empathy to these situations, to bring understanding, because it helps me better understand what happened to me. And then when you realize that you're not getting the emotional support or the attunement or the celebration or the love that you need, and you're looking all around outside yourself. Will you give me support? Will you give me support? Why isn't anybody validating me? Why am I so? Why? I'll tell you why you don't feel fulfilled. You're looking outside your fucking self for it. Stop looking at your partner or your parents or your friends or everybody else to fulfill what you need when it comes to support, celebration, and empowerment. It begins, the change in your life will begin when you can look yourself in the mirror, and no matter where you're at in your life, you can empower and support and celebrate yourself. You can high five the person in the mirror. And if hearing this sounds stupid or weird or corny or you just are resistant to the idea, you better fucking do it. And let me tell you why. that it's corny, it's weird, I'm not doing this, it's resistant. You know what that is? That resistance that you feel, that's your lack of self-worth. That's your self-judgment. If you can't fucking look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a fucking high five, why on earth would anybody else? It starts with you. I'm dead serious. When you stand in front of a mirror and you go high five yourself and you feel resistant to it, the reason why you're resistant is because you are thinking about your past. You are thinking about where you are right now, and you are judging yourself. You are saying, I don't deserve support. I don't deserve celebration because of what I've done, or because of what I've survived, or because of what people have said about me. Or you're standing here saying, well, I haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I'm not where I want to be, so I can't celebrate yet. Bullshit. The most motivating force on the planet is celebration, support, and encouragement. And it's high time you start giving it to yourself. And don't take my word for it. There is so much science and research in this. By chapter 2, you're going to drop this book and go, holy shit. Why is everybody on the planet not taught that they should start their day by brushing their teeth and high-fiving themselves in the mirror? Well, now everybody on the planet is being taught that. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. In case nobody else tells you that today, Mel Robbins, I'm telling you, I love you. I'm going to give you a high five. I know most of you won't even do it. I'm telling you, do it. I never high five myself. Do it and see what happens. Do it 5 days in a row. And by God, when you buy this book, and thank you for your support. I have a hard time asking for support. So thank you for your support. When you pick up a copy, please go to High Five Habit. Please, please, please register your receipt so I can thank you and high five you back by giving you 3 amazing bonus gifts in your inbox. I love you. I'll be here every single day on live stream answering your questions. I have no idea what time. I'm not that organized. But I love you, love you, love you. Bye, everybody.